this is not just an Oregon problem. I'm really kind of restating the obvious. It's a national problem, and so we're competing with others. And your competition isn't just within the state, because when a young person or someone that's been laid off from a plant gets retrained, when they get their certificate, where are they going to go? They're going to take they look at the calendar because they've got payments, and so they're going to take the job opening regardless of location. So we may be educating people for beyond the boundaries of Oregon. And Northwest food processors, we understand that because a lot of people stay in the Northwest. If you do a zip code study, they're going to maybe work someplace between Washington, Idaho, and Oregon. But a new factor comes in the equation because Canada has recently passed some laws allowing an exception immigration for food processors. And so they're going to try to tap into some of our workforce too, because they recognize from a policy point of view that they don't have the capacity to train the employees they need either. And so just for your understanding, you're in a global competition even when it comes to creating a workforce. I'd like to update you on a couple strategies that we're doing in the food processing sector that really are, like Agnes described, a cluster partnership. Northwest Food Processors is engaged in an excellent model down in Lynn Benton Community College, Albany. Public-private partnership with the Community College, Oregon Freeze-Dry Inc., National Frozen Foods, the Albany School District, the City of Albany, and the Fred Vetter is the Vice President of Oregon Freeze-Dry, and Bill O'Brien of National Frozen Foods. They see the issues here in terms of getting mechanical techs and people with the middle-skilled jobs, that they have to grow their own because the length of time their postings are on the job boards is getting longer and longer. There's a food processor in Portland that had a job posting up for 3 months looking for qualified people in mechatronics and electrical skills combination. LBCC and City of Albany have contributed dedicated classroom space to create a new program, and they've funded they've provided this classroom with enough workstations for food and beverage processing for 18 students, and their enrollment, their registration exceeds the capacity of the class. But it also, even though it exceeds the capacity of the school, it does not meet the needs of the industry for the next decade. So, and as was discussed earlier, these are dual certified courses so that some of the people that are in high school can currently get a toehold in the community college credit by attending certain courses that fit both. Again, we are really emphasizing with that particular project the importance of innovative skills to add that to their curriculum, and we're finding them very, very responsive. I think we need to kind of redefine the traditional job descriptions. The people that are leaving were very creative on their own, and I think that's the part of working in a manufacturing setting that you really can't put a stamp on 30 years of experience, 35 years experience of what their capacity is to be innovative on the line. And today's courses and people are educating them to certain functions. But I think one of our greatest challenges is to replace that on-the-job training to be reflexive and to be thinking. The WIRED program that was discussed earlier too is become a part of our future, and that we're looking at a portion of the WIRED grant to train senior workers into leadership roles of lead supervisors, and quite commonly these are people of Hispanic, Latino, or Cuban heritage. Oregon Food Manufacturers is like a United Nations right now. I know of one plant that is owned by a Japanese company, so its administration are Japanese nationals. They have some Americans that are in human resources and finance to match up with our regulatory requirements. And then they have processing lines that are composed of Ukrainians, Cubans, Cambodians. These are all Americans. You can see Cubans, Cambodians, Ukrainians, Russians, and Latinos, not Hispanics. And they're making Chinese food. Go figure. Yeah. But that's America. And so part of what we're going to use the Wired grant is to start with Spanish and work towards our other languages and teach supervisory skills in that language. There's certainly a bias throughout the industry and throughout the communities that we shouldn't be teaching anything in Spanish, but on the other hand, we sort of have a gun to our head because we don't have employees. We can't choose cultures when we hire people, and it's just the way that diversity structures happen in the food processing industry. So anyway, that gives you a little window into some of the things that we're doing. We have food processors that are facing unprecedented challenges in workforces. We're looking at companies that may want to consolidate their plants to fewer across the country, not because of the cost of food or the location of the materials, just because of the location of the workforce, the best flow of the workforce. I just want to really emphasize to you that it's really cheaper and easier to retain a manufacturer in Oregon than it is to create one and bring one in and recruit one. And so we'd like you to remember that the middle skilled jobs really are the backbone of Oregon's manufacturing industry, and that everyone must eat every day. So thanks very much.
Vice Chair Huffman.
Thank you, Chair Witt. Jim, I think I know the answer to this, probably all of the above, but lack of workers, lack of skilled workers, lack of drug-free workers. What are the problems? Is it all three?
Yes, it's all three. The location of the jobs is someplace close to the agriculture supply, and we might be educating the students in a location that they're not used to living in. The general supply, I think, of graduates, the type of classes that we have, it's all very important. We have the classes. Don't get me wrong. We have some excellent educators, but part of it was mentioned about the pay difference between the educators and the employees in the health sector. The health educators are not paid as much as a ER room nurse. They can make over $100,000 as a ER nurse. And in manufacturing, I think we find the same thing. It's hard to find qualified instructors. I think the program in the Dalles in wind technology, wind technician, wind generator technician, we started it up. We showed the demand. We had more people registered into the program, and the funding of the program went away. The need didn't go away. And then when you talk about drug-free employees, it's very difficult for government to require a drug-free graduate, but industry can. We can, in our scholarships, we can put a proviso or a rider on a scholarship that requires somebody to be drug-free to get the scholarship and drug-free when they graduate. And we have the potential to create a drug-free certification program to go with a middle skills job.